Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, I can't tell you how excited I am to be talking with Deen Castronovo of Revolution Saints. The album Light in the Dark is due out October 13th, but there are 3 tunes you can pick up right now on iTunes, including the title track, Light in the Dark. Deen, welcome to the show.
Well, good to be here, Rocky. How are you this morning?
I am doing absolutely wonderful, and I'm thrilled to be talking to you. I've been a fan for a long time, so I got a lot of interesting stuff I want to talk about. And the first one is, you got a music video out for I Wouldn't Change a Thing. And tell us about the amazing location where that was shot.
Oh, my gosh. That was shot at a villa in northern Milan called Villa Bossi, and it's gorgeous, man. It was a 15th century villa that they had renovated, and my gosh, bro, you walk into this place, and it's like taking you into a time machine back in time. It was incredible, just the interior and the vibe of the place. It was gorgeous and peaceful, and it was pretty amazing, man. We walked into this place like going, oh my gosh, this is wild, just amazing. Perfect backdrop for that song, perfect.
So what made you choose that location? I mean, did somebody have an idea? Were you shopping it around, or?
Yeah, well, that was something that the label and the video company had known about, and they just thought, this, since Deen's in Italy, since all the guys are there, let's go someplace really beautiful, majestic. And the cool thing is you can see the Swiss Alps. Where we were, we could see the Swiss Alps right from this villa. So, I mean, talk about picturesque, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was beautiful footage in that video for sure. Now, that's a very emotion-filled tune, and when I looked and saw that Richard Page from Mr. Mister wrote that tune, so how did it come to be that tune landed with you guys?
Well, it was Serafino, the president of Frontiers. He had heard the song, and it was just an acoustic version with Richard Page on an acoustic guitar and singing. And he gave it to Alessandro, and Alessandro redid the whole thing to make it, this rock ballad. All the orchestration, all the strings in there, that's all Alessandro, our producer. And when he brought it to me, I mean, I heard the acoustic version, but then when he brought the electric version, the power ballad version to me, I mean, we all got choked up. It was like, what a beautiful song. And so we knew it's like, okay, we're going to really have to sink our teeth into this one and make it as great as possible. And I can remember in the studio, I was driving Alessandro crazy because we would do a take of the vocal, and I would take it back into the hotel and listen, and a couple days later go, bro, I don't like what I sang there. Can I redo that? And I must have done that 5 or 6 times. I was driving him nuts, but I just wanted it to be the best it could be. And I hope I did. I mean, I did the best I could, and I'm really proud of that song. Really proud of it.
Well, you should be. It came out very, very well. Now, when I look at the talent in this band, and for folks that somehow don't know, we got Doug Aldridge with you and Jack Blades. How did this come together? I mean, I assume you played with them a million times in other, forums, but how did you guys form this?
Well, it was funny. Serafino, when I was on the road with Journey, came to me after a show in Milan and said, I want to do a solo record with you. And I kind of giggled. I was like, yeah, okay. And I just kind of let it go. I was like, oh, that's very nice, bro. Very, very nice. And then he kept hitting my management company up, kept hitting Irving Azoff up, and finally management came to me and said, look, they're bugging me. Do you want to do this? So I said, well, send me the songs. Let me see what they've got. And I heard the stuff and thought, you know what? This could be kind of cool. So when they were talking about musicians, the first guy they brought up was Jack. And I was like, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. I've known Jack since I was 17. I've known him for years, and we've toured with him with Night Ranger and Journey. So that was like, oh, my gosh, that would be perfect. If he'll do it, that would be perfect. And then they asked, well, what kind of guitars? What guitars are you thinking about? And I said, gee, I don't know. And they brought up Doug's name. And again, another guy that I toured with Journey and Whitesnake. And we got along great on the road. He and I just hit it off. We just bonded instantly. Such an amazing guitarist and an amazing person. So it was like, oh, this is too perfect. This is great. So when we got the time, the funny thing was I had 10 days to do drum tracks and vocal tracks. Journey had a 10-day break before the Canadian leg of the tour. So I flew home, did my tracks, did the vocals, and flew right back out. So it went really, really fast. But no, it came out really, really good, dude. Really good. We got to thank Serafino for that one. That was his baby. And he pulled out a good one on this.
So, the CD deluxe edition, if you buy it when it comes out, has some live performances, I noticed at the end. And I noticed your first performance at Frontiers Rockfest was acoustic. So are the live tracks on the CD acoustic, or are they plugged in?
They're plugged in. They're live. And the cool thing is when we listened back after we had recorded, did the show, and we heard the tracks back, I was amazed. I didn't have to fix any of the vocals, which blew me away because I thought I was going to stink. I thought, oh my gosh, and I'm real picky about stuff like that. I want to be perfect, and I want to do the best I can. So when we listened back, I was amazed that, not only did the band sound good, but I was in tune, and everything was okay, and I didn't have to fix a bunch of stuff. So I was grateful for that. Very grateful for that.
I was looking back. The first time I heard you sing live, and I actually know what show it was now, it was in Atlantic City at the Borgata with Journey, and I didn't know what a great voice you had. Now, have you always been a singer, trained as a singer, or is this natural?
Well, it's a natural thing. I was 11 or 12, around between 11 and 13, sometime around there. I was playing with guys that were 24 and 25, and I had the guitars. The guitars came in, and he had it and sat it down, and he put on, La Du Day, and he says, I want you to learn this, and I want you to sing it. And, I hadn't reached puberty yet, so I could hit those notes. Actually, I was like, okay, I can do this. And so it was a natural progression. I ended up, doing that, and then once I joined Bad English, I just started to sing in backgrounds. Those guys had no idea I could sing. So, I was doing backgrounds, and I just became the background singer. And, so when the opportunity came to sing live and sing those Journey songs, dude, it was an honor, but it was scary. I'm not going to lie. It scared the bejesus out of me. I'm like, oh, gosh, if I suck, the fans are going to let me know. So, I'm like a perfectionist. I just wanted it to be great. So when we would play live, the drums would take like an autopilot role. Really, it was just like the drums were on autopilot, and I had to focus really on singing those songs and breathing right and finding the right air to hit those notes while I'm playing. So yeah, it was scary, but I'm grateful I got to have that chance. I mean, it's an honor to be able to even play those songs on drums, let alone sing those.
So the writing process for this, were the songs written individually and brought to the group, or were they kind of put together over time?
Well, the second record, what happened was Alessandro had basic roughs of ideas, music ideas that he had, and he would send them to Doug. And Doug would rework them. He put his stamp on it, I guess. So the song's pretty much finished again, but this time we made sure, look, we're going to put our 2 cents worth in here, because the last record we had no say. The last record was just the songs, and we did them. So this time, when the lyrics were written, Alessandro and I had long discussions about what had happened the last couple of years with, my drug and alcohol abuse and my recovery. So we couldn't help but write about that. So he and I would mess with the lyrics, and then Doug would get the music and put his stamp on it, and then Jack, of course, the bass lines are just amazing on this record. So, that's kind of how we did it this time. Instead of just, 3 guys going in and playing as session guys, basically playing these songs, we had a much more prominent role in what came out.
So, of course, the big question for us here in the States right now, I know it was recorded over in Italy, but can we hope to see some live performances? I know you're all busy guys, and trying to get you together is probably a challenge.
Yeah, well, Rocky, I'll tell you this. Schedules permitting, we will definitely play. I mean, we know that Jack's got Night Ranger. That's his baby. So we've always known that that's his priority. Doug's got the Dead Daisies. That's kind of his priority. Right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm just putting all my eggs in this basket, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, schedules permitting, yeah, we'd love to go on the road. We did that show in Milan, and it just lit a fire under us. We're like, oh, that was way too much fun. We got to do this again. So we're hoping, man, we'll play anywhere. Bar mitzvahs, weddings, we'll do whatever.
It's funny you would say that, because the next question I wrote down, I'm just thinking of you and the amazing bands you've been in, and you've played in arenas and clubs. Can you recall the biggest audience you ever performed in front of?
Yes. Well, it was in Italy. I was with an artist named Bosco Rossi, and that was back in 95 and 96, I played with him in Milan. All over Italy. He doesn't play anywhere else but Italy. He's like the Bruce Springsteen of Italy. So the biggest show that I ever played with him was a soccer stadium in Milan called San Siro, and it seats about 100,000 people.
Oh, wow.
When you fill up when you're filling up the floor, the field. So we did 3 nights in a row at that place. All 3 nights sold out. So about 100,000 people a night, and it was. Dude, I was so nervous because I've never done that before in my life. And the crowd sound, when you hear an arena crowd, it's like, when you hear that many people, it's like a low rumbling roar. It's like, it was, dude, I'm talking, we were all, the whole band was like, oh my goodness. And that was my first time doing that many people. So, yeah, it was incredible. Just, I'll never forget it the rest of my life.
So it sounds like that actually even surpassed like any crowd you even played with Journey, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. I think the biggest crowd we played with Journey was in Montreal, Quebec. And it was a big festival that we were playing at. And I think Lady Gaga was playing the night after we were. And there was about 60 or 70,000 people there. So that was pretty cool. And, of course, we've done Download, and I think that's around 30 or 40,000. So we've done some big crowds, but that one, that still hasn't been surpassed. That one will go down in history as the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of.
So, I interview like a lot of guitar players, and I'll have a collection of guitars at home, but I never thought about this before as a drummer. Do you have like 1 million drum kits in your house, or you just have like one go-to?
Well, I have one baby that I'll probably keep the rest of my life, and it was a custom kit made by DW with the creation of Adam, which is on the Sistine Chapel. The 2 hands that are about to touch. I've got that like airbrushed on the kit, on a maple kit, a curly maple kit, and it's gorgeous. That one I will keep forever. Most of the kits I got after each Journey tour, we'd either donate them to a children's charity. They could either auction it off and use the money to do whatever they wanted to do with, or whatever charity needed something. I would take that drum kit and we either sell it and give them money, or auction it off and let them do what they wanted to do with it. So most of those kits, I've got 2 now. I've got 2 really, really nice ones that I've kept. But usually those kits go. I just figured the best thing to do is just give them away and let somebody else get the enjoyment out of them, or whatever money they can get out of it, they can put towards their charity.
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you being on the show. We've had Deen Castronovo. He is, of course, drummer and vocalist for Revolution Saints, along with 2 other great artists, Doug Aldridge and Jack Blades in that band. Light in the Dark is due out October 13th. You can pre-order it now, and if you want to get a glimpse ahead, there's 3 tunes available you can buy right now. So, Deen, man, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, dude, Rocky, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. You have a great night.
All right, man, have a good one. We'll see you.